Okay, let's have a look here. This is the C4 front suspension. We're going to start breaking that down today. I'm going to get the K-member out of this frame section, and this is what they do. They just cut the frame section off and deliver everything still assembled. It's a great way to do it. I've already taken off the brakes, the rotors, and calipers. I've got to go through. This is looks like a little wire bracket. This is a hole here for the anti-lock brake system. We're going to just plug that up. I do have new wheel bearings for it, and we'll see what we can do about that. And yeah, let's just see what we can do. I'm going to start pulling this apart, get the K-member out of it, get the rack and pinion out of it, start breaking it down. I'll go over what I have to do to these spindles to add the Ackerman kit. We'll cover all of that in the coming episodes. But for right now, I want to just get this done so I can have all these parts cleaned and ready to go back on the new frame. The frame kit is supposed to be here today. So I want to just start out with this and start tearing it down. Let's see what we get. Okay, so I whipped off the upper A-frames. I got the bolts. I saved all the spacers. I'm going to try to put these back in. I'm going to tape them up so that I know which one went where, mark them. Got both off there. Got the spindles off. I'm going to lighten this thing up a little more. I went to try to flip this over so I could get to the bottom shock mounts. This thing is heavy. So I'm going to keep pulling some stuff off here, and then we'll get to a point where I can flip it, and we'll pull the shocks off. And the sway bar. Easy enough, but you got to get to the bottom. There's nuts on the bottom of those bolts on the shocks, so I got to pull those off. Then you can see now how the K-member bolts up. There's two bolts there, and there's a bolt there, and another bolt there. Just barely see it. There, better. So that's how that bolts up. The brake line mount is actually part of the K-member, so that's nice. So we'll keep pulling, see what we get into, and I'll start breaking down pieces and bagging them. So I'm going to take a minute here and just document the spacer setups that I had for each point on the A-frame, the upper A-frame mounts. And what I'm going to do is, so the front bolts have the wider spacer. These are kind of cool too. They're cupped on the face, and that picks up a little bulge here on the cross. So the shaft. Sorry, it's a long day. Okay, so on the front bolt left side, I'm going to check my spacers here. I got 0.44 inches. Because I know these are going to get all mixed up. And on the rear bolt, left side, I got 0.33 inches. That's weird. Okay, right-hand side, front bolt I have 0.46 inches. And the back bolt I have 0.3 inches. And again, the fat spacer is on the front bolt. So I want to document that so that when I throw all this stuff in the tumbler and clean it all up, I can get it back together the same way. That's all. So that's a little note to self right there. I will going to keep tearing this apart. I've pulled the wheel bearings off the spindles. These are incredibly light. It's a very nice setup. I have to cut this arm off for the Ackerman kit, but I'll show you that when I get to it. For right now, though, I'm just going to take these and put them in the tumbler, in the parts washer, get all that goo off them, get them cleaned up best I can, and see if I have to sandblast these and seal them or what I'm into. So I will be back in a bit. Okay, so now we're going to pull out the monoleaf spring. This is the spring. It's actually a composite, like fiberglass affair. this is a bolt and a nut, so you gotta hold the back side, which makes it a little fun. It's a 13, a 15 nut. Do the same thing over here. Comes right out pretty easy. Now these little plates here, all they do is hold that spring in. So I gotta get this next one first. Let me get around the other side, see what I gotta do to get a wrench on it. Okay, of course, I'm not gonna be using any of this stuff. It's gonna be all converted to coilover. Okay. All right. Now, what's next? Guess I got to get these out. Assuming that little plate's got to come out first. Yeah. All right, now, thinking I should have done those the other way. And I might just drop those back in.
And then it went to the 24 stud, which looks like this. These are the two holes.
Yeah, it looks like those side bolts come out first. Otherwise, the spring tries to twist the plate, which makes it a little more challenging. Still trying to twist the plate. All right. And it looks like this little aluminum plate puts a lot of the preload on that spring. All right. All righty. Right tool for the job. Now, what to do to get that out of there? I think I got to pop the A-frame off now. But first, let me get take the shocks off. Shocks have got a nut on the bottom, which is super convenient. So there's that. And that, I'm going to save those nuts and bolts just in case I need them. Not sure I will. But can't be sorry. What did I do with it?
Gotta be careful with those rings. Because if you pull one over right here, sometimes oil just come out of this control rings.
Okay. We'll hang on to those. Then I think I've got to, I don't know what's keeping the spring retained right now, but I think the A-frames have got to come off next. So I'm going to do that. Finish getting this shock off. Okay, so to get the A-frames out, you got to get up in here with a deep socket, and I'm just using a breaker bar to hold it. There we go. And then that should come right out. Hey, Ryan. Yep. All right, come on now. Yeah. All right, save the bolts, because we will be using those.
This particular blower is set up for a flathead Ford. It's an original Scott.
All right, next one's going to be a little trickier. I think I got to lay this back down just to get on it. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, that works. All right, so let me lay this down and we'll pull that off. All right, let's get this side off. Looks like this thing's probably going to come down in the heat and break my arm. But you know, we'll do it. There we go. All right, there's the knot. Just get an extension in there. See if I can't feed that out. Yeah. Now, that should drop right out. I'm going to take off the other side first. Just so it doesn't, you know, have some support. All right. All right, rolled that up and the A-frames fell right out. So I'll put these through the cleaning process. Ball joints feel pretty good. I don't think I'm going to replace those. Let's pop that spring out of there. I think this has got to come out next. This little deal. There we go. I should be able to run that off. Push these bolts out. And I'm not going to need any of these springs or mounts or any of that. If anybody wants it, give me a call. Reach out, message me, whatever. I'm sure some Corvette specialist out there would always be looking for a particular spring set. I don't know what weight these are. I don't know anything about them other than it's an 89 Corvette. And that's it. She's out. I've got the front and rear monoleaf. I thought about using these, but then I thought these are kind of specifically tuned for Corvette weights and offsets and everything, so probably not a great idea. So coilovers will just be better. So yeah. Next step is we've got to break free the K-member. All right, now you're starting to see what we're after here. The K-member. So we're gonna, I haven't seen a lot of good information on exactly how to separate the K-member from the frame. So we're gonna break this down pretty easy, pretty in depth. Now, this K-member, of course, 89 Corvette, had a 350. So I'm pretty sure if you were using this with a regular Chevy 350, you could just leave the motor mounts in there. I'm gonna end up having to cut those off and trim them off, and that's fine. But if you were using a regular 350, that's it. But the mission right now is we gotta get these frame rails in that cross section off the K-member. So, first thing you can see right away is 2 bolts right here. We'll get those off first. And then we'll move on to the next part, which I think we gotta flip it upside down for. There's the first one. I'm gonna save these bolts too. The K-member bolts. All right, and this side. I think it comes right off with like 8 bolts, so. But we're learning as we go here. Okay, now let's flip that back up.
Put a lube on the bottom of the lifters when it fires up so it doesn't wipe out the camshaft. It's gonna use some nice product for that.
Okay, let's roll it up so we can get to the bottom ones.
These here guides, there's a stand on the intake.
It's a nice little setup. I do have a little dent right here I'm going to pull out, but not a big deal. All right, and over here, this looks pretty easy. Wrong way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. I'm not really sure why they have these spacers on this setup, but I'm going to hang on to them just in case they matter. And I think that's it. Gonna pull the ones off the other side and hopefully I don't eat this thing. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna eat it. Just roll it up a little bit more on that front horn. Okay. Yeah, that's it. She's all afloat now. Get this out of here before I start spraying PB Blaster all over the room. Okay, that's the money shot right there, fellas. We'll get rid of this. Okay, nothing left to be gained from this frame section, so it's out of here. Nothing I need. Okay, there it is. The K-member. This is the part we're going to reuse. Let's have a closer look. Now, like I said, I got to cut off these motor mounts because I've got to put the LS motor mounts on it. I've got an LS 5.3. that I'm going to use on this build. Nice little truck motor, should work out really well. Still has the brake line mount on the K-member, that's nice. The rack, everything is in proportion at this point. So yeah, I think the next thing I just got to continue bagging up some parts, labeling things. Then I'll start cutting off that motor mount. All right, so I've rolled this whole affair outside because I got the car in the garage, as you can see in the background. I don't want to have sparks showering the old Firebird. So, first thing I'm going to do is trim some of this off with the plasma, just so I can get in tighter with my grinder and clean it up after. But for right now, that's where we're going to start. I haven't cut any paint off this yet. I'm probably going to regret that. Little fire. Don't know what that is in there, but it's burning like hell. Probably should put that out. Yeah, paper towel. Nice. All right, let me just take this piece off. Fire! Okay. All right, that's what it looks like trimmed up. Now I'm gonna cut those welds, grind the plates off, clean that all up nice, and fill in. I got a little hole there from a plasma by the look of it. I'll fill that in with some weld, and yeah, that'll be good to go. Now I gotta cut this one off. Okay, so I got everything cut off, all the pieces. Like that with the plasma, and then ground off the welds. Now I'm going to clean this up with the sander. Now there's a few places in here I'm not super happy with the welds. Of course, this is pinched together with a bolt, which we don't have now. So I'm gonna grind this out, re-weld from like here out around the point on both sides. It's pretty loose right now, so but I'll get rid of the rest of these welds, flatten this out. I got a few places where I got a little happy with the plasma. I got to fill that in with weld here and here, a little bit over there. Then I'll clean all that up, and this will be ready for, final cleaning and sandblast. So that's where I'm headed with this. Okay, gonna hit this with a 36 grit first. Okay, let me get you in here. So, I got a little scrape there where the blade hit it, but that'll be fine. Just cleaning it up, get the welds off there. A little more to hit on this edge, but I'll hit this with 80 grit next to clean it up. So I'm gonna carry on with doing that. All right, took a few minutes, touched up the welds. Now I'm just gonna grind that flat, added a little more weld through here where I was a little concerned. And that should be good to go. Just filled in a couple of the plasma holes. Now I'll just clean that up one more time and that'll be done. Okay, that's all cleaned up, ready to go. All my holes are filled, extra welds. Now I'm just gonna clean up the rest of this thing. I might sandblast it a little bit and get it ready for paint. And this thing is ready to go. Actually, I can't really paint it yet until after I weld on the motor mounts, but we'll get there. Nice day out today. Moved outside to do this messy stuff, and I think it was a good idea. So, all right, I'm gonna clean this up and clean this mess up, get some lunch, and then move on to the next step. All right, next thing we're gonna do is remove the bushings from these A-frames. These are original ball joints, but still they're nice and tight, so. Okay, so you'll notice on this shaft, there's a small washer and a large washer. Means you gotta push it through this way. To push it through that way, however, it helps if you remove these rubber flanges first. And even this one so that you have a surface to press against on the press. So I'm just gonna take a knife and carefully carve those away. Should be good. All right, so basically just take the knife, get in here behind the flange and slowly work yourself around. Until your knife is buried right in the bushing. And you're good to go. That way when you're driving that bushing through, you're not dragging all that excess material with you. So that's the theory behind it. And it gives you a good flat surface to push on when you're trying to remove one. All right, I'll go through and cut the rest of these, bring you back. All right, so I've got the flange cut off that side, and on the one with the small washer, I got it cut off both sides, so I can put a nice press surface here, push the shaft through, that won't bind up, and then I'll cut off this flange once the shaft is out. So let's press it out. All right, so again, small washer on the bottom, work that onto your plates, then start pressing. All right, here's where you got to be a little careful. You don't want this thread to catch this bushing, otherwise it'll bend that A-frame and start to pop it in, which is bad. There she goes. Okay. And there's the other piece. All right, so that shaft is out. Done. All right, now let me move that back up. And we'll take this one, and I'm just going to trim that piece off right here. Now, this hole is actually smaller than this one, which is a little unexpected for me. So, can't use the shaft and the washer flipped over to do this one. You got to actually just use a socket with an extension or some other clapped up mess. Okay, that should push it out. And there she be. Got it. All right, for the lower A-frames, these come out a little different, but easier in a way. Oh, that's crazy. Weird. Okay, so basically in this one you got to press because you can't really get under them, over them. So you got to press the opposite direction. So you press up instead of down. First things first, just line up your A-frame on the, your socket on the bushing. Put a cup on the top. Unfortunately, that's the only cup I have that fits this bushing. It's very large. Then, apply the pressure. Just checking to make sure my socket's in the right place. Appears to be. Whoa. Okay, and there it is. Bushings out. And this is just, there's no sleeve, metal sleeve in these. They're just straight up bushings. It looks like there is something somewhat collapsible in there, but otherwise my bushing wouldn't be as long as it is right now. All right, let's do the other one. That should have popped right out. Uh-oh. Yeah, my socket's jammed in there. Nice. Okay, I just got a little bit of rubber holding that in. I'll pop that out and we're done. Okay, gonna start putting some stuff in the tumbler for the night. I do this right before I get done for the evening. This I'm recording more for myself than for the video, but I figured what the hell, at least show you how I start it. So, like to keep track of what's in each bag, so I know when I pull the pieces out. So this is the power steering bag. I got two, looks like M6 bolts with nuts, a couple of those. Throw those in the soup. I got a new pot for this. I got to get it all cleaned out and redo it. It's I've been running vinegar in it, and vinegar's worked really good for taking rust off, so that was nice, but it really just makes everything gross. So probably tomorrow I'll take and clean this out. Okay, sway bar. I got the two brackets. Those will go right in the soup. But I've got a mixture right now of degreaser and vinegar in there. Probably toxic. Who knows? Okay, so this is sway bar. I got two fairly small bolts. Then I've got, oh, I got 4 of those. There's 2 more. Clean those up. And then these are the through bolts. So those 4 bolts hold the bracket on. These 4 bolts here hold the link. And these are just regular hex head. It says 10.9 on them, and then they have an acorn-shaped, almost acorn-shaped nut to it. So there's 4 of those. Again, sway bar. Watching the Little League World Series today, the U.S. Championship. Okay, what's next? K-member. K-member, I've got 4 bolts. Oh, 12-1, the Red Sox won. My wife is not going to be happy. Okay, so I got 4 of these. M8, flange head, with a little spatial bushing. Don't know if I need those or not, but we're going to put them in. I got 4 of those. And I like to run this overnight because, well, it's loud and obnoxious, and I don't want to listen to it during the day. Again, this is more for me than you, but I just figured you might want to see how I do it. And off she goes. That's weird. You can barely see it vibrating on the camera.